Hi, everyone. So in the last module, we talked about storyboarding, right? And the purpose of storyboarding is to lay out, where are the characters? What are they doing? Where's the camera related to the scene and that sort of thing. But because storyboards are a bit like a comic, in that they're like a book. The story progresses as fast as you read it, right? So if you're a faster reader, the story goes faster. If you're a slower reader, the story goes slower. So related to the idea of a storyboard is what's called an animatic. Okay, and an animatic is essentially a storyboard set to time. Okay. In other words, it's like, well, we can take the panels that you guys did for your storyboard and you can lay them out in time. So we can say, okay, this shot lasts for 1 second, this shot lasts for 3 seconds, whatever it might be. To do this, a lot of times in animatics, people will add like music to it or sound effects, or like if you have the recorded video or sorry, the recorded dialogue, sometimes people will put dialogue to timing just to get a sense of how to pace out the animation to make sure scenes aren't going too fast or too slow or anything like that. So we're going to do an example of that. I'm going to do an example using
LL Floyd.
not this, because this is not an animation. This is, I'm going to use one of my favorite animated TV shows as a kid, which was Batman, the animated series from the early 90s, 1992, I believe. And this is the opening. Okay, so I'm not, what we're going to do is I actually have, so you can watch it in your own time. I think it's well done in my personal opinion. But what we're going to do is we're going to recreate that using the storyboard from the piece. So in other words, like here's the storyboard. Okay, actually it's not the whole storyboard, it's one part of the storyboard. It gets into like roughly, I think about here, from like 45 seconds to about, I think, maybe about a minute or so. That's the storyboard part. So you got to have the storyboard. You can separate them into separate photos or have it as one. And to do this, a lot of times people will use video editing software. If you know how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, or if you want to use something like Final Cut, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to show you guys a free piece of software that we can use. It's called Video. Okay. It's browser based. So what that means is that it doesn't matter if you have Mac or PC or a Chromebook or a netbook or whatever. As long as you have the internet, you should be able to use it. It's a very simple program. And so I'm going to use it. Just kind of show you the example. Used to be, you don't need to, you can use it for free. If you want to store anything, I think you need to have an account. Account's free, but so actually I don't have an account right now. And actually what I'm going to do is we're just going to go over the software. It's very simple. So this is going to be your composition. This is going to be, you can upload things. So in this case, I am uploading the storyboard, which is this, and I actually got a copy of the music. Let's just start with the storyboard. It's going to upload. So down here, this is the timeline. And what I'm going to do is literally, you can just kind of drag this in. And I'm just going to have these panels, this is my composition here. And I'm just going to have it fill in. So I'm just literally dragging this. It's going to be a little blown out because this is a raster that I'm blowing up, but hey. Oops. All right, so it's like, okay, here's this. And then I'm trying to figure out how long I want this to last. So if you look down here, this is my drawing. Okay, that I just put in here. And you can actually make it longer or shorter by just dragging on the edge here. You can zoom in and out to look at your timeline. So you can set frames per second here too, by the way. And I'm just going to say, okay, let's play this back. This is my time marker. So that's going pretty quickly. So I might maybe have this last for 1 second. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. I guess I should have probably used my account so I could save stuff, but I'm just gonna do this again. I'm wondering if I could just, can I just copy this? I might be able to just copy this. And the reason I'm doing that is I can move it over. And it really just becomes about timing. So it's like I have, it still feels kind of fast. So I don't know. Do out the timing. How long does that last? See, he's like jumping, so it should actually, I think it should go pretty fast. Boom. So I could keep re-uploading this, or I kind of just like copying it, just kind of, because it's all one image. If you had multiple images, you might, um, under settings, that seems fine. Media, this is where you can upload stuff. We're not going to worry with the audio. We'll do that in a second. This is if you want to add text. These are like elements. I don't think we really need any of that. The main one we're really going to need is uploading, which is really how you're going to upload your photos, your storyboard photo. I'm just going to copy and paste this. You can do a little overlapping too if you want to do like a kind of a crossfade. So then it's like, okay. Now here, actually what's happening is Batman's jumping on this guy and he's like flipping him over. So it should probably happen pretty quickly. Okay. So I'm just literally kind of laying out these images. So it's basically this whole scene is Batman is fighting some thugs, they're, you can watch the whole animation video to see the full thing, but I'm just kind of laying this out. And I'm getting a sense of how long is this scene really going to take. I'm already at like 3.5 seconds here. So it's a good indication of like, all right, this is how long this is going to take, I still haven't done out timing yet. I'm just literally kind of just getting. This is one of these videos where I should just like speed it up a little bit. So this is all happening really quickly. These like punching and dodging. So I don't, the timing on that should be a lot quicker than some of my other stuff. Oops. So this is like a outshot. So this should probably hold a little bit. By the way, if I need to like, rotate or, flip things around, you can do that very easily in video. Okay, so let's play back. See, like that actually here, I kind of feel like that should have been faster. So let's cut that down a little bit. If you have a little empty space, you can literally just hit delete. See, that part went too fast. I don't know what happened there. Yeah. I think that was supposed to be, yeah, this part. It's feeling a little off. I might cut this a little shorter, but I also maybe want this a little bit longer. Just a smidge longer. Feels a little bit off. This is just one of these things where it's like, when it comes to pacing, it's not something I can teach. There's no like hard rules. You just have to watch it. It just has to feel right, you know. Does it feel too long? Does it feel too short? I kind of like that shot, so I'm gonna hold that shot for a little bit. Then Batman's fighting someone. This next one should be a little faster because it's going back to some action shots of him, punching and whatnot. So Batman clocks some guy. Pow. That'd be good to have like a sound effect there if you have a sound effect. You can go back to those sound libraries I was showing you a couple weeks ago and did, voice lip dubbing and such. All right. So now I'm gonna put in some audio. Let's upload that music. I think what actually in this yeah, that's that one. So it should be about should be there. I think it's like I think it's about there that it starts. So you can, if you have audio or video, you can actually pull on the edges to make them longer to sort of clip them. I'm just going to put this underneath. Not my best work, but you get the idea, right? In this particular scene, there is no there's no dialogue or anything, but if I had dialogue or sound effects, this might be a good place to put that. All right. So the way it works here is once you're done, what's nice about video is you don't have to, you can export it for free. It will put like a watermark on it, but this is just an animatic. It's not a final product. So if you want to get rid of it, you gotta, upgrade. But I'm not going to require that for this class. So what I'm going to do is let's export this. Okay, so there's my storyboard. And I should be able to download it. I guess I guess I do have to have an account to download them. But it is free to have an account. Or I think I can also have it emailed to me as well. So now that I've done that, I'm going to download this. Choose MPEG-4. Okay. And then let's take a look. Okay. So that is an animatic. It's a storyboard with time. Okay. And like I said, a lot of, directors, I have an upcoming, I have an interview with actually a guy named Josh O'Keefe, who did Dunelands, the cartoon. And he talked about how he actually would record all the voices first before animating so that he could, add those to the animatic to figure out the timing. So a lot of directors will do, dialogue if there is dialogue, um, get a sense of music, that kind of thing. But it's also just like I said, it's a timing. It's like how long does this action happens, really quickly, right? As you'd expect a fight scene to be really quickly because things are moving really quickly, right? But then here it's like, okay, all right. And so that's the idea. You're going to, take your storyboard that you guys develop, use video, or if you want to use another service like Premiere Pro or whatever, if you have your own video software you want to use, that's fine with me. I don't care. But I want you guys to take your storyboard and do out the timing for it. Okay. I want you to figure out how long are these actions going to take so you get a sense of how long, you know, your animation as a whole is going to be, and also just get a general pacing. Okay.